Hi everyone, it's Jo Smart from Fight Angels here for your April Lightworker reading. April 2021. Yes, this year is going so fast, which in a way is a real blessing because it's been a very challenging start to the year. I hope you had a blessed March. I had a really good March actually, the last couple of weeks in particular, where I actually took some time off. My husband and I took some time off from our day jobs and I had a little bit break from the spiritual stuff, and I celebrated my 40th birthday, which despite being in lockdown was very, very special, and I felt very, very loved. I'm wearing one of my gifts here, beautiful Celtic cross that one of my dear friends got for me, so that was good. And really took some time to up my self-care regime. Lovely long walks, in local beauty spots, some good food. Currently doing like a 7-day cleanse where I'm concentrating on a different chakra every day. Today was third eye, and staying off things like the booze, which obviously isn't a bad thing. So really feeling pumped come the end of March, rested, which is brilliant, and ready to tackle whatever April brings, which is what we're here to talk about. So for today's reading, I felt like we needed some gentle love. There's been a lot of harsh energies around over winter. Winter's been quite difficult for lots of people in the UK and in Europe and across the globe. So I really feel like we want to do some nurturing and have some gentle vibes. So the main part of the reading, I'm going to use Carl Gray's Angel Prayers, published by Hay House. Now, if you don't already use cards yourself and you're thinking of starting, I'd recommend this as a really good starter pack, because again, like I say, they're nice and gentle and they're really quite easy to interpret and understand from the pictures and the captions. So good starter pack if you're thinking of getting started. And then I'm going to pull one light from the Carl Gray Keepers of the one card from the Carl Gray Keepers of the Light deck, also published by Hay House. So I've set the intention already in the cards that from the Angel Prayers, I'm just going to pull 3 cards, and they're going to be a bit of advice or opportunities that we need to take in April to really nurture ourselves and to really, kind of get our light shining for ourselves. And then for the Keepers of the Light is who's going to be around us helping us right now. So they're the intentions that I've set for that. Before we get to the meeting, I just feel called to talk a little bit about crystals, and part of that is because of some of the conversations I've been part of on social media, some of the groups that I'm on, about why we charge and cleanse crystals and what the difference is between the two. So I thought I'd just give a couple of minutes rundown on kind of my interpretation of that. So hopefully that helps you. So crystals work by absorbing or repelling particular energies. So the clearer crystals, like this is my selenite wand. So the clear crystals kind of generally clear our energy, and the way that they do that is by absorbing it within themselves. And darker crystals like this is black obsidian. Black obsidian works to repel negative spiritual energy. So this is a really good, a little stone under your bed to kind of prevent any bad dreams or any kind of spiritual nastiness that might come along while you're vulnerable and asleep. So again, this works by repelling it. So it's working really hard to repel that, particularly if you are involved in a lot of spiritual light work or kind of the paranormal work, then this can really help to repel any of those kind of negative energy attachments that might happen. And then also you've got something like tiger's eye. These are just a couple of examples, but these are crystals that I tend to work with quite a lot. So this is tiger's eye, and this is really good again for repelling human or environmental energy. So if you've got people who are quite negative around you, and so they're putting out that kind of human negative vibe, again, tiger's eye is really good at protecting you from that by repelling. And you cannot underestimate how important it is to look after your crystals. That's just I was getting started and I didn't really know much about stuff like this. My husband bought me for one of my birthdays a few years ago this beautiful clear quartz antique pendant, and I just wore it straight away. I didn't cleanse it, I didn't charge it, I didn't connect to it, I didn't put my intentions into it, I just wore it. And almost immediately, like within 24 hours, I started to feel this real melancholy, and I couldn't really think out, well, I mean, I had stuff going on, who doesn't? But, you know, I started to have like a real extreme reaction to stuff that was happening in my life. This was before I did angel cards or anything. I was just, you know, beginning to get kind of a bit more spiritually aware and into crystals and stuff. And I remember it culminated in one morning, I like 3 o'clock in the morning, just couldn't sleep. I'd had a terrible night, bad dreams, and I just came downstairs and sat on my sofa just sobbing and sobbing and sobbing. And it suddenly struck me that whoever had worn that crystal before, however many people who had worn that crystal before, and, you know, whatever it had journeyed, it was then just inputting it into me because I had it round my neck. So that was a really stark lesson in why you need to look after your crystals. Like I said, they are working really hard by absorbing or repelling the negative energies or the environmental kind of baggage that's around you. So to cleanse them, there's lots of different ways. Today, I don't know where you are, but here in Lake Buzzard, it's absolutely beautiful. Sun is shining. Perfect for cleansing your crystals. So on a windowsill or outside in direct sunlight, putting your crystals out, the sun naturally cleanses them. It rinses them of all of that energy that they've picked up. If you can't do that, or where you are isn't particularly sunny, then again you can just unless it's something like tourmaline that can break up, that's a bit rough. If it's a smooth crystal, then you can just hold it under running tap water, and as you run it under just a couple of seconds, set the intention that it's cleansed. And another thing that I do, kind of if I take crystals on my journeys with me or travel with them, I just hold them and visualize them underneath a waterfall and intend them to be clean. So you can set the intention through visualization or different techniques to get them cleansed. But like anything that uses energy, we need to then charge it, same as you would charge your mobile phone, because that uses energy and it runs out of charge, or your smartwatch, you know, anything like that uses energy, it needs recharging, and that's so that it can work to its maximum effect. So to charge them, full moon, perfect. If it's a full moon eclipse or it's a super moon, things like moonstones and moonstone family crystals like labradorite, probably not best to put them out in a super full moon or a full moon eclipse, because that can create a bit of chaotic energy. But any of the other crystals that don't come from the moonstone family are fine to put out in the full moon, and that gives them a really good charge. Again, on a windowsill where it's going to get the full moonlight, or outside if you can and it's safe to do so. Or again, if you're not able to do that, or has been like a super full moon and you haven't put your labradorites and things like that out, then it's just your energy and your intention putting them in. So you sit there and you hold it. So like the tiger's eye, it's fantastic for grounding, as in repelling kind of human nasty vibes. So you would just hold it and close your eyes and center yourself and set the intention that this stone is charged, and it will ground you and it will repel negative energy that comes from other humans. So whatever the crystal is for, and you know, it's not just around the kind of energy repelling and cleansing ones, things like clear quartz to attract love, green agate to attract joy, lapis lazuli to support with your throat chakra and your communication and to encourage loving communication 2 ways. You know, it's the same process that you go through, you're just setting that intention. So I hope that's helped. I said a couple of minutes, I've been like 10, so hopefully you haven't got bored. But that's why we cleanse and charge our crystals. That's how we do them. And like I say, from my own personal experience, I cannot stress enough the importance, particularly if you're getting one from a shop or you're getting an antique, you need to make sure that any of that stuff that it's got stuck inside you get rid of it, because it can have a personal impact on you if you don't. So that's that. Let's get on to the nitty gritty. This is the pack I'm going to first. So like I said, this is the Angel Prayers deck, and I've set the intention that we get advice on opportunities or things that we need to do, 3 things that we need to do or opportunities that we need to take in April in order to look after ourselves, reconnect, and make our light shine even brighter. So like I said, this is all about us for April. So I'm going to lay them out. One, 2, and 3. So card number 1, new beginning. So this is telling us that, and very similar to March, where we talked about coming into spring and coming out of hibernation, and we got Ostara come out from the goddess Pac, who we had the Feast of Ostara in March, which is the spring equinox. And this is, very similar to that, saying we're coming into the new beginning, we're coming into the rebirth of the planet, but also of ourselves and our souls. So new beginnings are not something to be afraid of, whether it's a real new beginning, like a big change that you're making, a new job, a new relationship, you're shutting the door on something in order to open the door on another. Never be afraid of that. And this card is saying, for those of you that have big changes coming up, then really embrace it, because the angels are there ready to carry you through that new beginning, get you over any hurdles that's going to come your way. Because nothing is ever easy, but you will be carried through. You'll be carried over those hurdles. The angels are really rooting for you in this new beginning, and it's something to be embraced and something to be excited about. And for those of us that haven't got any big real changes coming, then again, it's just about embracing the new life around us that comes with spring, with the flowers popping and all of that, and just really embracing what that symbolizes, what that signifies for us. It's been a whole year for a lot of us of in and out of lockdowns wherever we live in the world, and we're beginning to see the end of that as well. So that's, let this be a new beginning. And interesting, we were talking about the crystals. To start with the new, we really have to break from the old. We really have to disconnect from that. And again, crystals are a really good way of helping you do that, of cleansing your aura from one stage of your life as you move into the next. So it's really about using all of those tools available to you to help you close one door, whether it's just closing the door onto winter and opening the door to spring, or closing the door to lockdown and opening the door to a cautious, careful unlocking, or whether it's closing the door on one part of your life, one milestone in your life, and moving on to another part of the journey. Whatever this means for you, the angels are with us and really rooting us and telling us to embrace this as a real new beginning for ourselves. And it's also potentially then influencing the rest of humanity to have a new beginning and, start treating each other with more kindness, more love, and more compassion, because we can be the role models of that. So that's a lovely card to begin with. Card number 2, Archangel Chamuel's come out, and he is the archangel for bringing in love. So, so those of you who may be entering a new relationship, that's a new beginning. But what Archangel Chamuel is saying to us is to really open our eyes and see the beauty that is around us, and to stay open to the wonderful things that are around us. And as we move into our new beginnings, is to be able to, like I was saying before, shut the door on the old, and in order to be able to remove barriers into the new. So we're not going to get in our own way. And particularly sometimes when we try so hard for something, or we want something so badly, we can really get in our own way. And what I'm really getting the sense of is one of the things that Archangel Chamuel can help us do to remove barriers is to help us trust the process. So it's thank you, Archangel Chamuel, for helping us trust the process, to remove the barriers to what is going to be the exciting new beginning that the universe has in store for me, and really trusting that process and surrendering it to the divine. so that we don't get in our own way and kind of mess this up for ourselves or delay things for ourselves. And card number 3, last bit of advice, is to take a step back. So again, so much of this is about letting go of the old and moving into the new. So this is really encouraging us to, you know, release this here. The caption talks about releasing what no longer serves us. Last night, so I'm doing this on the 30th of March. Last night was a super full moon in Libra, which is particularly around healing of relationships and families. So if I'm posting this today, so we've still got another couple of days of that full moon energy to release anything, particularly if it's family relationship related, that's kind of baggage clinging to you and preventing you from moving forward into your new beginning. Now is the perfect time to release that, and we've talked before about how you do that with the new moon energy. If you miss it, the full moon energy, if you missed the full moon energy, that's fine. You can still do it using Archangel Michael, but this time let's use Archangel Chamuel as well, because he will remove the barriers to us being able to release in order to move forward. So this is saying to, you know, take a step back and really take time to acknowledge, you know, some of the things that may be holding back, and, you know, use the angels and thank the angels for helping us release all that no longer serves us as we step out of one door and through another. So apart from Archangel Chamuel and your whole spiritual support team, including your guardian angel and your spirit guides and your ascended masters and ancestors, let's see who else is going to be helping us at this time. Okay, the Shekinah. I've just done the Shekinah attunement actually on Angel Team, Barclays Angel Team. So that's interesting that Shekinah has come out. And Shekinah is the twin flame to the Holy Spirit. So it's like the Holy Spirit in female form. So that's why we've got the beautiful dove there. So this is talking to us about, you know, expressing our gifts and really getting in tune with our gifts and our feminine divinity. And again, if you're a guy, you have feminine energy, goddess energy, and feminine divinity within you. And now is really the time to kind of get in touch with that and really express that and do those kind of more feminine, high vibrational things, and, you know, and really nurture yourself. You know, part of like the divine feminine is about nurturing. And, you know, I started this off talking about kind of self-care and upping that. This is about really nurturing us, but by doing fun things and expressing ourselves and really getting in touch with who we are as people and what our gifts are, and feel worthy. And part of the self-care regime is getting to the point where you know you are worthy of these gifts. You are worthy of this love, and you are worthy of the power that you have got to serve your purpose. And the Shekinah is somebody that we can call on to really help us pull that out of ourselves. So this new beginning really involves, you know, expressing our gifts, feeling the power within us, acknowledging the power within us, not in an ego-based way, but in a purposeful way, and calling upon the Shekinah to help us do that and to recognize that we are worthy of that. So to pull all of these together, because that rounds this up very nicely, is we've got, you know, we are all moving into a new beginning. We are closing the door to winter. We are closing the door to what has been a terrible 12 months. And we are closing the door to any baggage we've picked up in that 12 months. And we are opening a new door. And that new door will have so many opportunities for us, physically as people, but also spiritually as light workers. And Archangel Chamuel will help us to get over any barriers and open our minds and open our hearts to continually moving forward. And in order to do that, we just need to take a little step back to understand what we're carrying that no longer serves us in order to let it go. And in all of this, the Shekinah, I say the twin flame to the Holy Spirit, will be really rooting for us and really guiding us to express our gifts, to raise our vibrations, and to shine our light in the world, just like the sun is shining today. So I hope that was really helpful for you. Thank you, angels. and Keepers of the Light for giving us that amazing advice. So if you didn't feel pumped for April already, I hope you feel pumped for April now. Exciting times. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear if there are any new beginnings that are coming your way and kind of what that means for you. So please do get in touch. And I will be back for May's Lightworker reading in about a month. Love and light.